Hey Transformdom, this is Ben here in China, and welcome to another episode of the Kamikaze Transformation Challenge, where I transform a toy from the mold out from the box to the other mode. So for Quietus, it's the bot mode to the alt mode. And look at me, I am trying to untab the backpack, which I did, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to squeeze that front nose piece of the jet to the front, right? So I'm adjusting the shoulders. You can see I'm trying to create a cavity or hole where I can push the nose section of the jet through the back section. And throughout the whole video, you will see me struggling a little bit and going back and forth between one part of the bot or the jet to another part of the bot or the jet. And when I get tired of transforming something or trying to figure something out, I think I just perhaps need another perspective, so I'll try to fiddle something else and then come back to what I'm trying to work on. And in this part, you can see that I am trying to open up the front bits of the nose section because I'm just kind of discovering what pieces are movable, what I can open, what joints there are, what kind of designs the joints have, so that I can just kind of figure out how I can put things in place, when it's in the final, when I transform this guy finally. And then I figured out how I can move the jet front section in, but I think I'm stuck here. So I think in this part of the video, I went back to moving the shoulders up again, on the right configuration for the bot mode, so that I can like bend that front nose section, and then I will kind of like twist down the shoulders again to create that hole that I just saw this now, and I can pull out the front part of the jet. Then this is what I did. So yes, that was successful. And then I am just putting the whole front section of the jet together. So I'm figuring out like the tolerances, what I can really push, what I can really pull, how I'm going to orient everything so that it looks like what the alt mode is supposed to look like. And I'm just being a bit careful in what I can move again, because these are like really expensive toys, and although FansToys is built tough, I just need to be cautious. And here I think there was a put that I'm trying to move, but it gave up because the tolerances just wasn't there. And then here I am I know that part can move, but I gave up, but I'll get back to it. And now I'm moving on to another part of the jet, which are the arm pieces, which becomes like the thrusters. Trying to figure out the fins. Here you can see the forearm fins, and then I noticed that I can rotate the forearms. I'm just playing around with it. There seems to be like one way you can turn on one way, but you can't turn the other. But now I'm back to I'm not back. Now I'm going to figure out how to transform the feet or legs, and I can open up the side thrusters there, and I'm here playing around with like the combiner walls transformation gimmick. And you can see that I need to fold in the feet, and then I tried to put it into the cavity while collapsing the thighs into the calves, and then things just did not really want to tap in really well. So here I am spending a lot of time just trying to see what I can move, what I can wiggle, so that everything will close up. And you can see that I'm trying to play around with, okay, I can collapse the foot into the calves, but when I try to put the thighs into the calves with the foot, things will not really tap in nicely. So I'm just moving some pieces around, just trying to see if there's just little nuances, because FansToys, they're really known for, you got to get the orientation just right so that everything will fit into place. There's not really a lot of engineering tolerances which will allow you for a bit of a wiggle room so that things can still tap in together. With FansToys stuff, everything has to line up 100%. And so I am spending quite a bit of time. I think at this point I kind of figured out what I need to do, but I just really need to make sure that everything orients correctly. And I think by at this point I kind of knew what's going to happen, and I think this was a successful attempt in closing up the thighs and the foot into the calves. I think. No, not quite there yet. So, that's the way the cookie crumbles in terms of trying to make sure that everything lines up right. And I think at this point, it tabs in nicely. Does it? I'm trying out on the other side right now and orienting everything. It's just won't tab in nicely, but then something clicked. and then I moved out the back pieces, and then I'm working on the other side, moving everything in, and then I'm putting the legs together. And because it's FansToys stuff, you know, you gotta make sure everything tabs in very nicely and securely. There you go. So the rear section of the jet is fixed. Now I'm gonna try to work on the shoulder pieces, aka the wings, and I'm rotating the joints, orienting the wings, and then I'm collapsing the hands, rotating the right shoulder, rotating the right shoulders, collapsing the hands again, and moving the fist around just so that I'm just trying to see what fits. Again, moving the forearms, detaching the wings, expanding the wings, and I can see that these end pieces can fold out, and that was a pretty easy thing to do. You just need to make sure that everything is nice and tight. Then I'm trying to figure out how I can fold the wings in or expand the wings so that it's sturdy when expanded. And you will see a lot of the videos moving on from this section onwards where I am trying to figure out how I'm going to rotate the forearms and the fist in a proper orientation where it will fit nicely into that little thruster piece back there. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's just a lot of finagling, a lot of figuring out where things are. Now I'm just detaching the chest piece and then accordioning it down to the belly section of the jet, rotating the head, and then I'm like thinking, I know the head needs to go into the nose piece, but how does that work? Anyway, I gave up on that, and I continue expanding the wings again. And I don't know, the way that things tab in when the wings are expanded is just a little unnatural for me, so I had to be extra cautious about that. Again, going back to the fist and forearms to put everything back into place. As you can see in this image here, I think I've got the basic shape of the jet all in the right place, except for the orientation of the forearms, in which I have to kind of rotate the forearms and the biceps in a way where everything will put in nicely. And then I went back to the section. I'm jumping back and forth, as you can see in the video, fixing the forearms, fixing the fist, fixing the nose section, and I kind of think that I'm there, and you think that I'll get there at this section of the video, but no, I'm still kind of stuck and perplexed because the thrusters just would not fit over the fist, snugly. And I think this is at this point where I looked at the bottom of the forearms and the biceps, and I noticed that there is something more that meets the eye. I really got to orient things the right way, and I gave up on that. I'm looking at playing around with the landing wheels, and now back on the wings again, just finagling things, taking a quick short break, fixing things that I think that's an easy fix. There you go. This is where I figured out that I need to orient the biceps in a proper way. So you can see me, I'm detaching the wings again and reattaching the wings, just trying to figure everything out. And I don't know why I did that. I think I was just trying to get an achievement done. It's like, okay, this piece folds flat like that, and that piece does not. And then the cockpit, how am I going to move the cockpit? I know I have to move it forward, and then there I'm trying to open up the nose cone so that I can turn the head, push the head in, and then I just kind of use a bit of a brute force and pulled out that flap. Yeah, this flap right here. And once I pulled it out, you can see like, okay, now let's see, push. Yes, everything now is coming to place. The nose piece is good. I just need to make sure everything tabs well. I am pushing up the backpack and pushing in the cockpit. I am readjusting the wings, and this is at this point where am I now at the video? Yes, I am still figuring out how to attach the arm thruster piece in place, put everything in place, and there you go. I finally figured it out at this point. Yes, I finally figured out that I need to rotate things in a proper orientation so that everything will tab in just nicely.
Yes, I think this is quite good. It looks looking quite good. There you go. You can see I'm just moving things around. Like, what can I move? What can't I move? And then I like, okay, this looks like it lines up, but the forearm wing piece does not seem to be in the right orientation. So keep on moving around, and then I said this looks like where everything should be in place. So now I'm moving some pieces around on the wings so that the forearm winglets can orient right side up. Okay, and then now it's just a bit of finagling and trying to put everything in place, right? I'm really there. You can see that everything is pretty much in place with the exception of the orientation. Now I'm working on the other side and then I think this piece I figured out, hey, it taps to the side, it taps to the body, so that's kind of cool. Fold down the thruster piece, there you go, and say yes, achieved. And I'm working on the other side, and now I'm working on the wings, trying to push everything in. And then you can see the cockpit isn't really tapped in, so I took this off camera and tried to work at tabbing in the cockpit, and then I finally did that. And now you can just see me just trying to put everything in place, making sure that everything is tabbed right. The nose piece looks a bit unfinished, but you know, it is what it is. And then I am done. So that is it for me this time around with the Kamikaze Transformation Challenge. I shall consider this a win. Everything looks very nice indeed. A little bit of tabbing issues, but hey, achieved. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and share button and smash the sub and bell icons for more future videos. Again, this is Ben here in China, signing off, and I'll see you on the flip side.